Okay, so you want to know how to get this look, then keep watching. The first thing I do is just start off with a primer. This is a pore minimizing primer from Rare Beauty. And I usually just focus this on my T-zone area and also in my cheeks because I have more large pores here. The Revlon Skin Caring Foundation. This is really good if you have drier skin because it is illuminating foundation. It is more of a medium coverage, so you can build it up if you want a little bit more full coverage, but you can see the skin is still showing through. So if you like that, you'll probably like this foundation. And I always use a brush to apply my foundation. I know some people do beauty blenders, but I feel like if you want like actual coverage, go in with a brush first and then blend out with the beauty blender. That's how I apply all my foundations if I do end up using a beauty blender. This one is from Thread Beauty, and I'm just gonna focus it right underneath my eye and also here. And everybody do their concealer differently. You can apply it straight from the applicator. If you want to, you can put it on the back of your hand and apply with the brush. Honestly, as long as you blend it out really well, you'll be fine. My Rare Beauty bronzing stick is gonna go here, and I love this. It blends out so seamless. It's the Sweet Cheeks blush mousse from NYX, and I always like to apply it in an upward motion. Now when you blend out, always start lightest to darkest. So I'm gonna go with my concealer first. Focus this concealer right here, and I'm not applying it directly underneath my eyes, just more so kind of like underneath, because if you apply too much concealer right underneath your eye, it's gonna look really cakey. So I'm just lightly applying it underneath the eye and bringing it over to this part of my eye. I do like to bring my concealer down a little bit, like to about right here. I don't bring it all the way down, but at least like right here. And then I just sweep the rest of the concealer underneath my eye. Again, remember, if you want coverage, you want to use a brush first and then blend out with your beauty blender. So I want to be a little bit brighter under my eye. This is the all over face concealer here. And I am going to take what's left on my brush and apply it down the center of my nose and also a little bit on my forehead. Number 47 from Sephora. And I'm just kind of patting over that area.
Yay.
And you see, I'm not going into my contour because I don't want to mix those colors in. Take an angled brush. I'm just going to go in circular motions. I love using creams because they just blend out so beautifully. And I don't like to drag my contour all the way down. I know some people like to drag it all the way down, but I like to just keep everything kind of like lifted. So I just stop it like right here. And I'm just using the other side of the brush. Really move the product up. I'm just taking the beauty blender and just blending out the concealer that was like right up in here and blending, kind of like melting the blush and the concealer together. When this side is blended out, I'm gonna take my Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Bake powder, set underneath my eyes. You always want to blend out first and do not look down because you can crease. And then press, and I'm not pressing hard, just lightly tapping the powder underneath. And then when the under eye is covered, then I go back in with like a second layer of powder. Everybody do their setting powder differently. Do whatever works for you. I always do it differently. Sometimes I set it with the brush, sometimes I set it with the little puff. It literally just depends on how I'm feeling. If you know how to like finesse your makeup, you can really do whatever you want with your makeup. And I'm just taking whatever's left for why is this the concealer, or for why is this the contour, and just kind of lightly contouring the side of my nose. I just don't really like my nose being like super contoured. I'll do it like a little bit, but not like too much. I'm gonna let this sit under my eyes just a little bit to catch like any fallout. So we're gonna do eyes next. Tarte palette. I don't even know if they still have this palette. I got it years ago. This color I'm actually gonna go in with because I used another color too. Cork from MAC. So these just the single shadows. And I'm just gonna lightly apply this into my crease, kind of like above my crease actually, and not too much. I'm gonna use the Tarte palette, so I'm gonna go in with this orange shade here. I'm just going right directly into my crease now. Take this shimmery shade called Passion and apply that on my lip. I'm gonna take the blending brush and I'm gonna go back into that orange color and just blend out the edges of the shimmery shadow so it's no harsh lines. Take a brown liner. This one's from Urban Decay. It's Whiskey, and I'm gonna tight line the top and lower lash line. I do mascara first now. At first I didn't do this, but I just feel like your false lashes stick way better when you do mascara first. I just apply my lashes with my fingers. I start in the middle. I always look down into a mirror. Start in the middle and then put down each side. And this is what works for me. And that way you're not pulling or tugging on your eyes and cause premature fine lines. You can use a tweezer eyelash applicator if you want. Do whatever works for you. Okay, we're gonna dust this powder away now. I like to leave powder underneath because it catches the fallout from the shadow. Orange shade. Wipe this underneath my eye, really close to my lash line, just to create a little dimension. I'm a mascara girl on my bottom lashes. Like, if you're not putting mascara on your bottom lashes, girl, what are you doing? It looks so good. My Pink Lips Blushing on You palette, and I use this orange shade right here. This is so pigmented. Like, if you want a pigmented blush palette, highly recommend this one. And I just take a really fluffy brush from Real Technique, nothing too tightly packed where the bristles are too tightly packed, because it's gonna put out a lot of color. So just a little, like a really fluffy brush, and you don't need a lot of product because it's gonna be a lot, okay? And I just apply a little bit just to give me a nice glow. And I do like to go back over my blush with a brush that I used to apply my blush, just to really blend in that highlighter. So it's not like highlighter and blush, it kind of look really seamless. Sephora Micro Smooth powder, and just set the rest of my face. Pink Lips Brown Girl Lip Liner, one of my favorites. And then I'm gonna also go back in with that blush from NYX. I like doing stuff like this, y'all. That's what I'm saying. You do not necessarily have to use your makeup for what it's designed for. Even though I say for blush, you can also use this for your lips. So I'm just gonna put it like this. I'm just gonna take a brush and blend it out. And I know it looks very intense now, but let me show you, girl. So I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty False Filler Lip Gloss. This in the shade Honey. And it just give it like a really pretty nudie, orangey color. And that's pretty much it. I am gonna bronze just a tiny bit. I'm gonna use the Juvia's Place bronzer. Yeah, I like blush, y'all. Like, I'm a blush girl. And then you can do setting spray, Urban Decay All Nighter. Setting spray is really good to make your, especially if you use a lot of powder, it really helps to melt the product into your skin, so the product can look more like skin and not necessarily like cakey makeup. It'll look just like skin. And that's pretty much it, girl.